For more of the crisis in Afghanistan, let's bring in Nebraska Congressman and retired Brigadier General for the U.S. Air Force, Don Bacon. Congressman Bacon, thank you so much for your service and good to see you, sir. We played a little bit, thank you, we played a little bit of that sound from Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin saying there was no way to predict the Taliban would take control in 11 days. Let me play that for you and then get your response.
It was very difficult to predict with accuracy. This all occurred in a span of about 11 days. Nobody predicted that, the government would fall in 11 days.
As a reporter, I find trouble with that statement and the fact that we know about that cable that went to more than 24 officials warning of how quickly Kabul would fall. Congressman, your thoughts?
Well, first, we just got to be clear. This is the worst national security debacle in our generation. It's been a disaster. And the DOD and the intelligence community did advise against this rapid withdrawal of our forces. We may not have known it was 11 days, could have been 2 weeks, a month. Either way, it's a disaster. And you're right, we had folks on the ground in Kabul that recommended against this, saying, hey, the Afghan forces will likely collapse. So the intelligence was there. What we really have is a president who had a campaign promise. This was a political thing that he did, was to rapidly withdraw, despite being advised by DOD, the intelligence community, and people on the ground in Kabul that this was not going to work. And this is a political action against the facts that we saw. And we also need to be clear why the Afghan forces rapidly collapsed. They were reliant on our air power. We had great air power at Bagram Airfield, Kandahar, and within minutes we could get bombs on the Taliban when they were attacking, Afghan forces. Further, the Afghan Air Force was fairly effective, but they used our mechanics. And we pulled our mechanics out in this rapid retreat and most of our air forces. So these Afghan forces who were used to having air power did not have it. And then they were being resupplied. They were running out of bullets, and they were having to surrender and get murdered because they ran out of bullets and rockets and things like that. This is why they collapsed. It was terrible planning. And today our allies are alienated because we did not coordinate with them, and our adversaries are emboldened by this. We have a president that appears weak and appears inept.
All right, let me jump in really quickly. I'll have a couple minutes with you. Secretary Lloyd Austin placed the blame on the Trump administration when it comes to Afghanistan. Here's that.
But I think you have to go back and look at what the administration inherited. I mean, we came in and we were faced with a May 1 deadline to have all forces out of the country. This deal had been struck with the Taliban. And so he had to very rapidly go through a detailed assessment and look at all options in terms of what he could do. And none of those options were good options.
Is that spin? Because what we understand now is it's not the decision to withdraw from Afghanistan, it's how the withdrawal was conducted, no?
I think it's a little bit of both. This administration does not have the ability to take responsibility and be accountable. They do not believe in President Truman's adage of the buck stops here. They point their fingers everywhere else. And I was critical of President Trump's negotiations. I didn't like the fact that the Afghan government wasn't included. I don't think you can trust the Taliban. But I'll give this with President Trump, it was conditions-based. They weren't going to do actions unless the Taliban were complying. And we know this, the Taliban were not complying. Now, President Biden had a choice to make. Did he want to do a rapid retreat? How was he going to do it? He accepted this responsibility by saying we were going to do this rapid retreat. And the way it was executed is all on him. This is his responsibility solely. Now, I could be critical of some of the things President Trump negotiated, but in the end, Joe Biden had the choice of how he was going to do this or whether he was going to do it, and he did it. And this has been a complete failure. He owns it.
All right, we'll leave it right there. Congressman Don Bacon, thank you so much, sir. And again, thank you for your service. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.